In spite of stiff opposition, the paratroops got into Arnhem and reached the crucial bridge over the Rhine. But German pressure built up, and the fighting became ever more desperate. Cut off, the British were forced to surrender, although some managed to escape across the Rhine. Arnhem had been a bridge too far, and Allied hopes for ending the war in 1944 faded. Yet, at the beginning of October, the Americans began to attack Germany's main defensive line along her western border, the West Wall. They first penetrated it south of Aachen, which lay close to the Dutch and Belgian borders with Germany. Aachen itself, the first important German town attacked by the Allies, proved a tough nut to crack. It took days of bitter fighting before it finally fell on the 21st of October. Further south, the Germans used the French Maginot Line to good effect to hold up the Americans. Nevertheless, US forces continued to push into the German Rhineland. The Allied supply situation had begun to improve with the gradual reduction of the French Channel ports. One, Dunkirk, scene of the Allied evacuation in May 1940, would, however, hold out until the end of the war. But the Allies needed a major port closer to the battlefront. Consequently, so that Belgium's main port of Antwerp could be opened to Allied shipping, an amphibious attack was mounted in early November against the island of Walcheren, at the mouth of the River Scheldt. This landing was successful. After minesweepers had been sent into the Scheldt, Antwerp was unloading ships by the end of November. Hitler, however, was not content to remain on the defensive in the west. In mid-September, he announced his intention of mounting a major counter-offensive. He ordered the formation of a new 6th Panzer Army under SS General Sepp Dietrich. It was largely made up of reconstituted SS Panzer divisions. 5th Panzer Army was also refurbished for this offensive. The final plan called for a thrust through the Ardennes directed on Antwerp to split the British forces in the north from the Americans. Hitler's generals wanted a more modest operation, but he overrode them. On the 8th of December 1944, the attacking troops, over 200,000 strong, began to deploy, moving mainly by night. The indicators of an impending attack were present, but the Allies considered the Germans to be no longer capable of mounting a major offensive. The sector about to be attacked had been quiet and was held by divisions recovering from fierce fighting to the north and others fresh from the United States. Before dawn on the 16th of December, the Germans fired an intense barrage. Helped by fog, infantry moved forward to break into the American lines. They were followed by armored battle groups, who quickly broke through the surprised and confused defenders. The Germans continued to thrust ever deeper. bewildered Americans found themselves cut off. Desperately, the Americans tried to regroup as the panzer battle groups continued westwards. American reinforcements were attacked before they could deploy. Starved of luxuries for many months, one bonus for the Germans was American cigarettes and ration packs. More and more American prisoners were taken and sent to the rear. But not all American units broke. Some stood and fought, notably at the Belgian town of Bastogne, where they refused to surrender even though surrounded. Also, having failed to capture American fuel dumps, the German advance began to slow. To the south, Patton's Third Army began to attack into the German salient. This meant switching his army through 90 degrees, but it was done within 48 hours. Even the coming of snow did not hinder Patton's men. Soon the Germans were feeling the pressure in their flank. While they fought desperately, they could not prevent Patton from pushing north towards Bastogne. By the beginning of 1945, the Americans were advancing to recapture the ground they had lost. Yet the counter-offensive in the Ardennes had shown that the Germans still had plenty of fight left in them. Nevertheless, the Allies could now resume their thrust towards Germany's last natural defense obstacle in the west, the River Rhine.